Hello to all of my beautiful black mahogany, ebony, chocolate sistren. Hey to the rest of y'all too. I'm just playing. Hey y'all. Hey everybody. Let's just take a minute for the dark skinned sisters because we get a lot of negative stereotypes. They say we're too masculine because I guess we don't fit a certain aesthetic. Oh, especially when you wear your natural hair. Um, you're too aggressive just because you stand up for yourself and you're not a dummy. um, and all the other stereotypes. So for my dark skinned sisters, I want to right now my focus is y'all, you feel me? And to tell y'all like stop studying these other folks and what they talk about and how they don't want to include you and have your own shit. So greetings, my beautiful black sisters with y'all big lips and full noses and wide hips and thick thighs. Now, I don't have wide hips and thick thighs, but and all these beautiful shapes that we come in slim pancakes, itty bitty titties, big old tig old bitties. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got. You know what I'm saying? Love that shit. And start waiting for somebody else to love it for you, okay? But I'm on here today because I actually wanted to do this video tomorrow, but I had time today. So this video is actually for all women. And I'm going to address some shit that I see a lot of people talking about. So what I'm seeing going on with the women is there is this fight between younger generations and older generations of women. So you have the younger generation of women calling us, I'm an auntie, y'all. I would be somebody auntie. That's the age range I'm in, you feel me? So you have the younger people talking about, aunties, you're just jealous of, our youth, our beauty, because we're smarter, because we work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? You have the older women saying, shut up, you still got milk on your breath, you still wet behind the ears, you haven't lived long enough to know why you so young and your tiggle bitty sag and just all kind of shit. And I'm like, ladies, please stop it. And even though I consider myself an older woman, like not, of course, not older like that, but like I'm not in my 20s, you feel me? And I can honestly say on jobs specifically, right? There was always one or multiple older women of different races who, would try to, what they call it, sis me, son me, you know what I'm saying? Or just have something to say about anything that I did, what I wore, how I checked somebody if they came from me, if I had on makeup, whatever, all the different type of shit. So for my younger women, I understand. I understand that a lot of these older women come off as some jealous, unhappy, unloved, mad at the choices in their life as women. I understand that. To the older women, I understand that us younger women be talking big boy shit when true enough we haven't lived long enough to know better about certain things. So I can relate to that too. I always say that I'm in a generation gap. Like I'm from the era of where I remember the old world when life was much simpler, like in the 80s and the 90s. But then, excuse me, I understand that younger women having technology and how society has changed. Whereas, when I was in high school or whatever, the thing was you go to school, you graduate, you go to college, you get a job, and boom, your life set up. By the way, ladies, for the younger women, that's a fucking lie. That is not how society works today. That's really how society really didn't work like that in the past either. I graduated with my BA and was making less than the people who, stayed and worked for those 4 years. So I'm gonna go off on a tangent and say unless you plan to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a physician, a surgeon, a veterinarian. I don't even think they go to school for 4 years. I don't even know. Like, don't waste your money. There are people who have written books that you can buy that cost less than, let's see, when I was in school, tuition went up every semester. And I started out school my freshman year having to pay nothing. Well, it was paid for with scholarships and grants. To my senior year, it's like it went up $7,000 every semester or something. So that was way back when, like early 2000s. So I can't even imagine what college is now for students. So, like, don't waste your time. Find your passion. Find what you would do for free. Find what your lane is and monetize that shit, because that's the type of world that we live in today. Oh, you giving the younger women bad advice? I'm not giving them advice. I'm just sharing information from my observations. So it's not advice, but when I got older, and as I get older, I have to check myself, because there is like this type of anger towards older women for, like, why y'all didn't tell us certain shit? You feel me? When maybe they didn't tell us, some people be like, well, older women be wanting you to go through what they went through because they had to go through it. I believe that. I believe that. So I'm not going to sit here and know things and not share it with younger generations, and hell, not share with older generations too, because there are women who are older than me who, I'm not gonna say that they don't know, but it's like the synapses and the neurons aren't connecting, because even though they have experienced certain things, they still haven't came to this certain conclusion about different things. You feel me? So what you saying, yeah? So I'm saying the younger women are correct, the older women are correct. Younger women, we don't. And especially your 20s. And I mean, I feel like these younger generations are wiser. But like I say, that's based on my spirituality and stuff. And I feel like they are ancestors that come back. You feel me? I mean, I imagine most of us are. What you mean come back? Meaning you died and then you went through the light and you came back out another vagina, back into the world. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I feel like I've came across a lot of 20 somethings and early 30 somethings they seem pretty mature and wise. Yes, wise. And younger women, you're right too. Some of these older women, they be hating on y'all. They really, really do. They hate that you're young. They hate that you're pretty. They hate that you feel that you're young and you're pretty and you know it and you're feeling yourself. Like, they really mad about that shit. So we're gonna say God is blessed the young fools and the old fools. And women, I want y'all to stop. I stop doing that to one another. Maybe in my head, I'm at like a Pisces. Yes, in the shade to Pisces. Not sorry. I'm at like a Pisces and live in my own world. And in my own world, younger women and older women get along. There is no competition for eggplant. I'm gonna try to keep this clean. There is no competition for eggplant. You know what I'm saying? And all the younger women and the older women aren't eggplant-matized. Walk with me now. Stay with the words and the code. So there's no need to fight and have this survival of the fittest attitude. You feel me? But on the real, without all the sarcasm, I really want my older women and my younger women to stop throwing insults, stop throwing judgments, and listen to one another. I posted on my personal Facebook page yesterday a video from a YouTube channel where this younger brother, I think he's about his 40s, and I don't know how old the other man is, but he older than him. So to me, it was two different generations talking about what they were talking about. And the way that they conducted the conversation to me was just, it was inspiring. You feel me? Because even though they had a different of opinions, and one of the speakers was very strong and opinionated, Not once did they disrespect each other. You feel me? Not once was a slur thrown. And mind you, these two men, they knew each other. But it was the way that they was able to conduct this conversation and come to a point of agreement. For example, the older man was talking about how he hates how certain rappers use the word ninja, right? If you watched my last video, you know what I mean by ninja. So if you didn't watch it, go watch it now, okay? Especially if you're a dark-skinned woman. And especially if you're a woman just in general. But definitely my dark-skinned sister. And so, I just want to give this rapper a pen. This verbatim what he's not verbatim, but more or less what he said, because I want him to extend his vocabulary and let him know that there are other words to use besides ninja. So, the young head, he listened or whatever. He said, now, so and so, when you was younger, they said you cursed too much. So and he was basically telling him that the same thing that he wanted this young rapper to do today and change his verbiage was the same thing that people wanted him to do back in the day. You feel me? But it was the way that they conducted the conversation without disrespect. They actually taking the time to listen to what one person said, to make the connections and to close the generation gap. You feel me? And that's what I want for women, you know, like for the younger women who talking about the older women old and their youth gone. First of all, I gotta bring up one of my old coworkers, honey. She was out the chain. She from Alabama. I live in South Carolina. She from Alabama, honey. She was so loud. And she was so country. I'm not saying all Alabama people are like that, but she was. And honey, she would just say the most outrageous things, but they would be true. And so one day somebody was having a conversation. She said, honey, black don't crack unless it's on crack. You feel me? So it's like, yes, the older women, and I mean, she right, like black typically don't crack. You pretty much look the same age from the time you're about 17 to like 55, and then like from 55 to like 85, you pretty much look the same. Or I say 55 to like 75 or 80, like you pretty much look the same. So like black really don't crack unless you don't crack. The lady's name was Kay. Shout out Kay. I don't know where she is now, but I like Kay. And so I was saying, to say that the older women, like to talk about them being older and their youth is gone, like that's stupid. Because if Goddess is willing, your youth is going to be gone one day. You feel me? Like my youth is gone. You feel me? Like if we're blessed enough, everybody's fucking youth is going to be gone, because either you're going to grow to live old or you're going to die young. Which one do you want? To the younger ladies, you know what I'm saying? And practice compassion. Do y'all know what compassion means? Look it up. And that's not just for the younger people, that's for the older people too. Look it up. Especially if you call yourself quote unquote Christian or church going, like you should have compassion, like for real, for real. So younger women, have compassion to the older ladies that, yeah, maybe they may be a little upset because they was fed a narrative and an illusion that once they got into it, they didn't really like. But once they were into it, they had to do what they had to do to take care of their families, to take care of their children, to take care of their children, to take care of themselves. You feel me? But at the same time, younger women, these older women have knowledge and wisdom that they can share with you, or if you are open to listen. Right there, I want to throw in there, I don't have any children. I love children. I love to love on them and hand them right back to their mammy and their pappy. Sure do. And children wasn't ever really anything that I wanted. I think around 13, I thought that I wanted one because my homegirl really wanted one. Like, she had a list of baby names and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I might want to have one day. But then as I got older, and like just for me to share my life, and no, not share my life, to give away my life for another human being, I'm too selfish for that. And I'm not judging women who have children. Like, my mother is a woman that has children. So, I'm not saying that don't get that interpretation, but like as I got older, I definitely didn't want kids. I want to travel, I want to make money, and I want to have a lot of 1,000 tiny deaths, if you know what that means. If you don't, look that up too. So I forgot why I was going off on that tangent. But I was saying like the older women, they had to take care of themselves and their children and their families. Oh, so I was saying how, listen and respect one another. There is things that you can learn. So about the children, I was saying I don't have children. But I was in a space where I heard a OBGYN speaking about the different things that happen to you when you have a freaking baby. First of all, your life is on the line, which we know from back in the day, like women would die in childbirth because of lack of health care and this and that and the third. But honey, it was horror stories like pelvis bones being broken, pain when you got to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Uh, after the fact, after you have the child, not being able to, have the same retention that you had. So like when you gotta go right then, or you about to be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? People have lost their hair giving childbirth, giving giving birth. People have lost or having children. People have lost. Uh, 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 their looks have changed. Of course, stretch marks, etc., etc., etc. But you know what I'm saying? If the young women don't take the time to listen to the old women, and I'm just specifically using childbirth as an example, you won't know these things. You know what I'm saying? And on the flip side, if the older women aren't compassionate enough to know that because you went through it, like if you are compassionate, if you go through some shit that wasn't really pleasurable to you or that you didn't like, or if you could be real with yourself and had a rewind button and say if you do it again, would you do it the same way? Like if you wouldn't, why not share with another younger woman those experiences so they can know better and do better. You feel me? So, younger women listen to the older women. And older women, we have to work on our delivery. Just me as a person, I have to work on my delivery with people because I have a way of speaking in which I sound very authoritative and like I know it all. If I could get just a penny for how many times somebody told me that I thought I know it all, I would be rich. I would be filthy fucking rich. You feel me? Um, So, be mindful of your delivery. Change it, maybe, but at least be mindful of it. We have a lot to learn from one another. The older women can give the perspective and the wisdom, can give the insight into what shit is really like. And the younger women can provide a newer perspective. For example, like with my generation, we were told to go to school, like I said, graduate, go to college, get a job. We grew up under the thing of, to be successful, you have to work hard. You feel me? Whereas these 20 somethings, these 30 somethings, they're like, oh no, helpful. We working smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? In each case, is something to learn from one another. So I just want women to be kinder to one another. And maybe I'm just not from this planet and think that that could be possible. And that may not be possible for all women. But like, if you're a younger woman and you're looking at these older women and you're like, that old heifer don't know what the hell she's talking about. Like, even if you think that, just don't necessarily say it or type it in the chat and just listen to what she's saying and see if you can get some food from it. To the older women, you might listen to the younger women and be like, oh, that little heifer, that little chicken head saying stuff. And y'all ain't trying to disrespect nobody. But that little chicken head saying stuff that we were saying 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But still, if you chose to click on it or be in that situation or be around these people, did it ever occur to you that there may be something that you could garner from it that you didn't garner from it 25 years ago or since those 25 years? So, you probably won't hear me say this too often. So, you might want to clip this and share this part. But there's something that we can learn from men as far as how they're able to work together. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get off of here. At a certain job, and not the last job that I was talking about on the last video. And if you didn't watch the last video, go watch it after you watch this one. But I was on a job and I was noticing like how when the women come in to the place, like other women wasn't really nice to them. They wasn't really accepting. It's more like it was gossip. You know, look at her, look at her shoes. You know, what kind of perfume she got on. Oh, she stink. Oh, she ashy. You know what I'm saying? And then I noticed when like new men would come on the job, the other men would immediately be cool to them, give them the ropes, tell them this, tell them that, etc., etc. So it's like a gender, y'all, it's 2024. I don't know what the hell correct terms are. I don't know if it's gender, sex. I'll say it this way. It's like a XY code amongst men. And I feel like women could benefit from having an XX code. You feel me? But like we can't do that if we feel like we're competing and if we're constantly judging one another and if we're not listening to one another and if we're finding fault in one another. You know, it's easy to find fault in other people. And I feel like that's also some coward shit too, and that's some weak shit because it must be something faulty in you that if when you first look at a person, you trying to find fault in them. How about look at that other woman and find a strength in her? You feel me? And give a light to that and feed that and uplift that. And you know, let's try it and see what it brings forth. Because I mean, we know with the cattiness and the hating and the fighting and the shit between women, we already know what that generates. A whole bunch of unhappy women, young and old, who some don't know any better and some in all this time haven't learned any better. They're like, yeah, whose side you on? I'm for the side of peace. And I can't lie. You know, I was a young fool. And I give thanks for being a young fool because I learned. But let me tell you, when I come across old fools, I be like, Lord, have mercy. Like, you been living all this time and you still don't know? So we're much stronger together opposed to fighting. You feel me? So I hope you enjoyed. Comment, share, like, you know what I'm saying? I have to think about what my next topic is going to be, but that'll be next week. Feel free to follow me on Facebook at FB Selassie. And I always have to say, not always, but I'm going to say it this time, dark skinned women, stop trying to be in spaces they don't want you to be in. Create your own. Love yourself. And either they can get with you or get to the left. And to all my women, all my other women, you know, do you. All right, peace.